Hey. Oh my God. I'm number one. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I can hear you. So number one, I've apologized. I'm the asshole. My mic quit working. And so I had to go and reset everything. So I apologize. You'll see in the first like 2 minutes of your video, it's me trying to talk and then looking very disgruntled because my mic's not working. And so just click over 2 minutes of your recording. It's just me messing around. Okay. So with that being said, welcome in. Are you ready?
I am. I am.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I just had a very crazy emotional session. And while I'm getting set up, I'll tell you about it. I had a female, a woman. She has been coming to my meditations. She has been at every single one of my webinars. And she's a wonderful, wonderful woman. And she asked her husband for a session for her birthday. He bought her a session for her birthday last year, and she died 9 days ago.
Oh
So
no.
he had her session.
Oh, how
And so,
sad.
yeah, so we contacted her, and oh my God, it was the craziest thing because, and so I'm all torn up right now. And so that's good. That's good for us. Do you know why? Because it makes me channel better. So that's why. So with that being said, let's get into this. Let's see how much I can cry today. I'm excited. Are you ready?
I am. I'm ready.
Cool. Cool. Well, we have an hour. So before I get started, let me kind of tell you a little bit about how I do it. That way you can understand what's going on in my squirrel brain. The first thing is I'm going to have this ugly pen. I chew on it when I channel. Next thing is I'm going to have this notepad. The only thing I do is I don't write secret notes about you. All I do is like monotonously scribble. This is a newer one, so it's not nearly as full, but I have to do that too because I just need my body to do something. The next thing is that people used to always ask if I was taking notes on them, and I'm like, no. The other thing is that people ask, how do you channel? Well, depending on like the messages. So remember that I'm just the telephone. You are the one with a connection. You're the one that's connected with them. Okay, so I'm reading your connection. And so what happens depending on how they passed, how they died, where they're at. It also depends on how they were in life. So if they were snarky and talkative and fun, then they're going to come through like that. If they were a little bit more quiet and like, yep, that's how they're going to come through. There's nothing magical about it. It just is. I can tell you this other person is going to have plenty of personality because I just felt it. And so there's a shift, which is good. You can make this person blush very easily in a fun way, in a good way. Like they think that they're hard kind of, but they're not. And they're like, oh man. And they get the dimples. So let me tell you about that. So another thing is so I'm already feeling them. How do you channel? How do they talk? Well, the first one is they do signs and symbols. So pretty much what they're doing is they're hijacking my brain. They're using your connection, they're hijacking my brain, and they're going, okay, how can we make this woman say what we want them to say? So the first thing is they'll do signs and symbols. So like white balloon means our anniversary is coming up. Colorful balloon means birthday is coming up. If I hear happy birthday, that means your birthday's today. Just random things like that. Hershey's chocolate bar means they're from Pennsylvania. Other things that they'll do, yeah, it just gets super complicated. Like a pineapple means you had an outdoor Hawaiian wedding. Don't ask me why just weird things. So sometimes if I'm like artichoke on Sundays, that means really big family gatherings. Sometimes what I say doesn't always make sense. The other thing is they'll do feelings and emotions. So this person will do plenty of feelings. So, and those feelings can be everything from how they passed to what they're feeling like right now to like describing, what's going on with you. Like getting pregnant with a boy feels a certain way, right? Why are they talking about that? They're talking about having somebody that's like a little dude that looks like him. Interesting. That's weird. Who's the little dude that looks like him?
It's my youngest, Evan.
He talks about right there. He's just like using my brain. I'm talking and he goes pregnant with a boy. I'm pregnant with a boy. And he goes, huh? Yeah. And he goes, yeah, man, there's a little, it's talks about a faux hawk or something. And I'm like, stop, that's not a thing. And so he's already talking. So it's cool. And then the other thing is that they'll try to put me as in situations. He's very proud of himself. That's what he's doing, and it's like I can't hear him talking, but that's the images he's making. So I get where they put me as soon as I start channeling, I lose my train of thought. They try to show me what's going on with them or what's going on with you, and the last one is I get words and phrases that just show up in my head. I'm not going to be staring at you a whole lot. I'm going to be looking over here or at this fun light, because if I look at you, I'm like, love never always is patient. So like my ADHD kicks in and I'm like, oh, I need that wireframe with a cactus in it. And so all I really need you to do is tell me, hell yeah, that makes sense. No, it doesn't, Amy. Because what he's going to do is he's going to give me a packet of information. I'm going to go, okay, decoding like this. And then you're going to go, yeah, that makes sense. And I go, okay, cool, dude, on to the next one. And sometimes, depending on how good they are, it's just like a nonstop train. It will just keep going. And other times it's like I'm pulling teeth. He says he has messed up teeth. He says that. What? No, you don't. Maybe he had like really bad holes in the back of his teeth or something. I don't think he's terrible. Yeah, weird. He says, talking about teeth, he said pulling teeth, and he just showed me black. And I was like, you don't have any holes. Maybe he had fillings. I don't know. He's talking about how he likes to look smooth. He likes to look clean. He likes to smell good. He likes to be fresh. He says, no, I don't want any of that nasty ass breath. I was like, okay, cool. He says that one. He tells me I'm tall, so he's not that tall. I'm 6 feet tall. And so he's, yeah, he goes, he stands next to, how, 5'7", you said?
5'10".
5'10". Okay, so he's a little, okay. He goes like this. He goes, man, you're tall. I go, oh, yeah. So he's standing next to me in my head. So he's channeling well right now. What? He's talking about trying to be a player, but he loves his kids more than anything else, and like what a great guy he is. And he's talking about how I love the Lord. Like maybe he throws in like added like God going in there, and which is funny because maybe he was trying to figure that out. I don't know. He says like there's all yeah, there's you can feel this along with him talking. So think about our conversation in my head is going in like 5 layers. He's saying something, I'm feeling something on the back end, I'm seeing images, and so I'm having to what? I think I'm doing pretty well. Good. I think I'm pretty straight with this. So wait, what did you do, dude? What are you doing? Why are you here and why are you dead? He doesn't like me to bring that up. He said, do we really got to talk about it? Do we really got to bring that shit up? And I was like, yeah, we can. We're going to. He just told me to tell you, I'm your father. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because you boss him around, or maybe it's because you were like telling him what to do or something. I have no idea. He just tried to like assert his dominance for some reason in a funny way. What happened? What are you doing?
He always did that. Yeah.
Yeah, he goes like this. He says, nobody can, but he's funny. He's light. He goes, nobody can boss me around. He's like, you know, she'll tell me what to do. You need to go here. You need to do this. He says, I'm your father. And I'm like, okay. I like his voice. It's like slightly gritty underneath the back end. What are you doing? And not gritty in a bad way, just like a little bit. What happened? What are you doing? He's not rusty. He's good, but I'm trying to hone him into speaking perfect. What? Can you tell me? Can you tell me? Can you tell me? He just showed me like random metal. He didn't die in metal, but I think he's trying to show me what he did. What are you doing? He's just said fishing. I like fishing. He didn't go fishing. Weird. He said, yeah, I know. That's why I was like, no, he's like popping. He's using my symbols in my head. And he goes and he shows me a lake and he goes, fishing. I like fishing and I can feel it. Like, that's just bullshit. I was like, no, you don't. That's not a thing. What are you doing? I wonder why. I keep going back and I keep asking him. I said, what happened to you? And he keeps circling around. And so I don't know why that is. They don't always do that unless it means it's difficult to talk about. it means that he felt fully out of control. That's probably that. Or another thing, it could be that he it could have been in some way like involving himself. Like, I mean, not just him dying, but because of this or something. Or because of his own decisions. I don't know. So, oh, what was that? Hold on.
Sorry, it's a call.
You're fine. No, you're fine. What? He's making me hear somebody tell him go, 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 go. What? What? He like does not like doctors. Does not like doctors. They're like out to get you. He says he decided to use the term doctors are janky in my head. That doesn't make any sense. But for me, that would translate as like I don't like them. He says that what? Remember, they're just using my random words. So what are you doing? He puts himself in like a schmuck. Why? What? Did he have a lot of like intestinal issues going on as well?
No.
Okay, interesting. The only reason is he showed me this and then he just made me hear guts. Like when somebody has like gas, I mean, but not coming out, just internally. And so I'm like, what does this mean? Tell me. He calls himself a stallion. He says that so he likes to be fit. He likes to be good. He goes, and he makes me see a horse, and I go, oh my God, you are, aren't you?
That is.
He's so funny. I don't know why. Here, let me put on my music. I'm going to get into a deeper trance. Hang on. So today, just FYI, since I'm not texting, I'm listening to the Pearl Harbor soundtrack. That way you just know that that's what I'm doing. Hang on. Okay, come here, Dad. Maybe he likes the Gladiator movie. Interesting. From a long time ago. Sorry, that's my other soundtrack that I listen to, both of those. And he says, man, why don't you listen to the Gladiator? I like that. And I was like, oh, okay.
That was a good movie. We watched it together.
Yeah, that's what he just said. I was like, okay, I haven't listened to that in like a week. So it's let's see, where is it? Is it look, it's right underneath on my thing. Interesting. So there you go. That's a weird thing. He's here. So what happened to you, bro? It's weird. I don't think we had any closure for his passing. I don't think he had any closure for his passing because he goes like this. It's very hard for him to talk about. And he goes, man, I just died just like that, gone out. And I go, okay, well, can you get me into this more? And he's like, no boohoo, no crying, no see you later, no nothing, just gone. And I go, okay, tell me more about this. And so I'm having him like open it up, seeing if he can show me. And so he's very confused. I don't think he killed himself. He says, I walked around that something. Did we end up like taking some sort of medication and it caused us to die?
No, he actually did kill himself.
He did kill himself. This is what he says. This is what he does. Oh, boom, out. This is what he does. Interesting. He's not in a bad spot. He's blaming it on something else. He's blaming it on something else that causes him to do this. But there's no cancer. There's no nothing like that. And he goes, this is what he shows me. He says, boom, I was out. I was gone. And he goes, he's walking around his body. And he goes, man, why did you do that? Why did you do that? You're just knocked out. You're just knocked out. What are you doing? Get up. Get up. There isn't any way you can get up. What are you doing? Like that. And he keeps talking about how he's under the influence or something's going on where he's under the influence. And so that's why I was like, we killed ourselves like this. But for me, that's why I was like, did we take medicine or we take a drug and it did that? Because he's telling me how like fucked up we are. He's talking about how that's why he's very proud. He didn't want to show me that he took like quote unquote the pussy way out. That's what he says it. I say thank you. Can you stop holding this right here? Hold on. He's concerned with mess. Did he end up hanging himself?
Did he what?
Did he hang himself?
No, he shot himself. in the head.
Shot. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So this is why he keeps doing this. Okay. Yeah. He has this. He keeps pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, and he's walking around and he says, "I'm so sorry. It's very brutal." He says, "Man, I was concerned with mess. I was concerned with is it here? Did they catch me like this? Did they this? Did it this?" He's talking about the chaos that ensued afterwards when he was finally clear-headed. Okay, and he's calling his body a sorry sack of shit. Get up, get up, get up, get up. He's very frustrated with what he did. He's very clear-minded now. I'm a really good, this is exactly what he's saying. I'm a really good person, people really like me. And you know what? The ladies do too, because, you know what I'm saying? That's what he said. And he goes, I was like, you're being such a man. What? I got little dudes to watch. Hold on. You have an older daughter?
I have two boys and one daughter.
You have the little dudes. Oh, that's why he calls them little dudes. Okay. I was like, there's only one. And he talks about two. And he says, and your older daughter, so he talks about female older. He says, man, she's gonna think I'm an asshole. She's gonna think I just like left her. What kind of guy does that? What kind of guy does that? I mean, I was like, we're having this whole conversation as he's walking around his body. It's interesting because he like sheltered my eyes from seeing that because of how embarrassed he is of it. You may have had a drinking problem. What do you mean you may have had a drinking problem? I think you really did, dude. I don't even want to. Yeah, he goes like this. He puts a bottle to his lips and he makes me smell his breath. That's why we'll get into this. And he goes, I may have had a drinking problem. And I was like, and you can see how intense it is. And so I'm arguing with him. You're hearing it out loud. That's why earlier he was talking about, remember how he was like gloating to me on how perfect and how he likes to look sharp and how he likes to look nice. It's because the end of his life, he was an absolute train wreck. That's why. And so he's trying because he's embarrassed by it. So his soul, he's finding God, he's finding source, he's finding love. And so when he comes in and he meets somebody, he likes to put on a face now. And so that's what he was doing in the beginning. Like, oh, I don't want to look nasty. I don't want to have bad breath. I want to look tight, right and tight. Tell me. He says, I apologize in my actions as a father, and I'm sorry that I wasn't better for you. Straight up. That whole sentence. And then he like swallows really hard. So that's very hard for him to say. FYI. He says, maybe we're growing. Maybe we're growing. That's what he says. He goes, I can't believe I freaking said that. You're not a gangster in California. No. I know. It's weird. He just made me hear like lowrider music and like he just showed me sunny skies. I think he's just playing with me on what he wants to do or what he likes to do. One. He puts on a hoodie and he comes over and he hugs you. He has like a hoodie with the big thing on and it's cold. And so you are not in Texas. What? Because it's not cold here. What? Where are you at? What are you doing now? And where did you live? And who found you? That's what I'm going to ask him now. Can you tell me? I wonder if there's some sort of woman around him that was driving him absolutely batty or insane. He has like an anger thing about it. I don't know. Or maybe he's upset with somebody like this. He said he was looking at some bad stuff. There's an air of mystery of why this would happen. Like he makes me feel like impending doom is upon him. And this is one of the reasons why he has to do this. And I'm trying to figure out why. It's not just the fact that we're messed up, right? There's more to it. We're trying to open this book. What? He told me to leave him alone. He's gonna go live in the forest. You don't live in the forest. You're a city guy. What are you talking about? He's almost like he's very upfront. He's very loving. He's there for you, and then he can get a little bit reclusive. And he's doing like this back and forth game. I don't think he's ready to take full responsibility yet. Why? So he's always been able to push stuff off, push stuff off, push stuff off. Maybe that stuff on the side. What? He like wants to sit. This is a random thing. I've never heard this before. He like wants to sit down and like have cereal with you. That's weird. Like sitting there like eating cereal. Maybe y'all used to do that together when you were a little kid. I have no idea. He were him and your mom like divorced at like a very young age or like not together like when you were very young?
This is actually my ex-husband.
Oh, that's the husband. Okay, so what's going on with your mom and your dad? Were they divorced at a very, very, very young age?
No, they're
No.
still we got
Okay.
divorced.
Y'all did. Oh, okay. He keeps going, he keeps going divorced and he keeps going mom and dad divorced, super, super young, super, super young. Why were y'all divorced so young? Because of his issues.
We got married very young. I was 18 when I got married to him, and then we divorced like 11 years later.
You made it a long time. Wow. Okay. I got married at 19 and I made it to 26. So yeah, I know. I look back now and I'm like, that was the stupidest thing in the entire world. So no wonder he's coming around hanging out with your kids. He feels really, really bad for breaking up this family. He feels really, really, I mean, y'all weren't, he keeps saying mom and dad is divorced. Mom and dad is divorced. And I'm so sorry. And I'm so sorry. He feels very bad for his actions. He says that, tell me. What? It's really hard for him to come clean to you. Um, it's very difficult for that. He's weird. He says like daddy a lot, which is interesting. I have no idea why. Like there's like an interesting thing.
Daddy.
Nothing that's for your kids. That's for your kids all the time. Yeah, he keeps talking, he keeps going, daddy, 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 daddy. I don't want you to think it's in a sexy way. He keeps talking about, okay, good, good. Some people they get that confused. Not you, you're smart. What? Tell me. Who was the other woman that was around him all the time?
He remarried for a couple of years, and then after that marriage ended, he spiraled.
Yeah. He keeps going. He shows me other woman and then he shows me closing in and he shows me going crazy, like over this person, going crazy over all of this. He keeps talking about how hmm, how do you know how old your kids are?
They're 19.
Oh, no, I was going to ask him. So hold on. No, he talks about, so that's the 19-year-old. Okay, that's the daughter is the oldest.
No, it's a boy. And
That's the
daughter-
boy. Okay. Okay, in the middle. Interesting. He talks about how who is like the give me a second. Who's 16 or 17?
Alina, the daughter.
Oh, she is. Okay. She is very important to him. Very, very important to him now. And tell me. He can't get out. He can't get away. I think he's trying to find God, but or go up to a higher area, but it's very difficult for him. I want to see if he can. He's like talking to me in almost like a box, and he's not in your house. And so I'm trying to figure out where this is. For me, it almost looks like maybe we have a one bedroom apartment, or maybe we're living, or maybe we're in a hotel room, like it's one of these like small confined areas. And that's just kind of like where he's talking to me at. He didn't have a garage, he didn't have a shed, or he didn't have anything like that. He wants to like be out using his hands or working with his hands, something like that. He feels very, very handy. He keeps talking about, man, I just want to be outside and be left alone. He what? And he was never military, correct?
Right. No military.
Yeah, yeah. This is what he said. He goes, man, I freaking went AWOL without going over there. And I was like, interesting. That's why I was like, and he's not, because he's confirming this. He says, I said, how did you get there? How did this happen? Tell me. He wasn't living close to you when this happened. He was living like 4 or 5 hours away. How far away was he?
No, he was about 15, 20 minutes away.
That's it. Okay. Why did he feel, did he like close himself in and like not come over at all?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, he like wanted he was kind of separating himself from everybody.
okay, okay. This is what he said. I go, where were you at? What were you doing? He goes, man, my kids couldn't see me. I didn't want to make it out over there. He goes, it was just too far for me. And I go, well, what do you mean by too far for you? And he keeps blocking himself in this room. And I'm like, okay. He says that, are you with somebody else again? Are you like in another relationship?
No, I just broke up with the one that I was with.
Oh, okay. This is the only reason. This is what he said. She goes, I'm glad she didn't get remarried. And that's why I was going to say, like, I was going to say, well, if you are, let's look at their chart and see why they're talking about don't be with this person in a way. Hold on. Let's figure that out. What? I don't think he liked that person at all, though. Mm-mm. He calls him a few choice words, one beginning with a P. And oh, what happened? He likes to tell you, he says, you're better than that. You're better than that. You're better than this. You're better than this. He says, come on, come on. He's almost talking like he was in your ear saying this and like you could hear it or you could feel it. He says that, was he like your first love?
He was, yeah.
Oh, buddy. Oh, this is what he said. He goes, I said, so what about her? What makes her special? And this is him, not me. He says like this. He goes, I was her first love. I was her first everything, like, and I was like, stop it.
He was.
Stop it. Yes. I was like, he just showed me popping a cherry. I was like, thank you. He says, he goes, oh man, it was magical, wasn't it? And I'm like, you are, my God, what? I would think you would see him as like a shadow in your house. He would turn on the TV if he could. He would mess with stuff if he could. This man is like slightly in between in heaven and slightly in between purgatory all at the same time. And he just feels like he's here. This person would be able to guide you and help you out. Now, this is the whole thing with somebody that does this and somebody that is so shy about it at the same time because he doesn't like people looking this way at him. He is now going to try to help you out at every chance he can get. He's going to try to help the kids out at every chance they can get. So this is what I want you to do with him because he owes this to you. What you do is whenever you are at an impasse with maybe parenting or you're at an impasse of where you need to go or what you need to do with your life, you just sit there and you say, Rob, I need you to help me out with this. Show me where I need to go. And then you ask for that. You just do it in your head and you push it out. So instead of just saying, show me where to go like that, that's very empty. You sit there and you feel it. And what you're doing when you're feeling it and you're asking it and you're sending it, there's a difference between saying it and feeling it, is that he's going to get that. And then you don't have any fear. You don't say, oh my God, where is it going to come from? You just release it. And then he's able to flow and he's able to help you because he fucked himself over, because you have these kids, because he still loves you in the same way, right? In that area. And he knows he keeps doing like this, which means y'all are buddies, y'all are partners still. He's going to try to help you and push you through the best way he can. He says that, goes, I was getting a beer gut. He's talking about that, or he had like a tummy. He shows his little puff. I go, oh, okay. He's such a jokester when he wants to be. He says, tell me. So he was fuzzy all the way down.
Um, he had a beard.
Yeah, yeah. And then, okay, this is what he does. He goes, he's standing here and he puffs his tummy out a little bit. He's not heavy, but he's just, you know, is that little thing right there. And then he goes, man, do you like it? I was, you know, and I was like, what are you doing? He's getting used to this. So what? Tell me. Whose birthday just passed or is about to, like about to?
Um, Adon's birthday will in January.
In January. Oh, okay. That's your daughter, right?
No, Adon is my youngest.
Adon is the youngest. Okay, this is what he says. He goes, man, I'm gonna miss the birthday. And that means it's like right around the corner right here. But I didn't see any balloons, so it's not within the month or anything. And he goes, I'm a bad dad. I'm a dad, or I'm about this. And he was like, man, how could you doesn't like balloons anymore? What? He keeps putting that kid, and I know that they're not. He keeps putting that kid is like a 9, 10, 11-year-old, and I know they're not. It doesn't make any sense. How much younger is the youngest compared to the oldest?
6 years younger. So yeah, he's 13 and the oldest is
Oh,
19.
wow. Okay. Yeah, he puts this gap, but I'm like, he doesn't feel that young. Okay. That's like how he sees him all the time, like his little dude. So tell me what else? He doesn't want them to mess up like dad. Where are y'all at right now? Where do y'all live? Or where do you live? Or where's he from?
Portland, Portland, Oregon. That's where we kind of established ourselves for most of our lives.
Really? Okay, where were y'all from before? Where was he from before?
Um, he was from everywhere. North Dakota. His parents are from North Dakota. Um,
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've never been up there. I've never been to North Dakota, and everything that he's showing me, I'm like Colorado. I'm like Northern California. Like what? Because it's all like the plains and like a little bit of mountains and everything like that. And yeah, I've never been up there. Interesting. He says that, let me ask him about you. I'm gonna see how he's gonna tell me how he met you. I'm gonna see if he can tell me that. What? Hold on. He's very depressed. He just brought up parents. You just brought up North Dakota. You just brought up all of that. And he goes, man, shit. So I don't know what type of like death or passing or tragedy goes along with that, but we just hit a raw nerve and he's having a reaction to it behind me right now. It's like he lost everything or something. I have no idea. Did like dad die and stuff? Like what happened?
no,
Or does he just miss it? It's weird. There's some sort of like heaviness that goes along with it that's not Portland. Let's go back over here. Yeah, there's some raw nerve.
he
Um,
lost his mom and his parents.
his Say it one more time.
Maybe it's the pain that he caused his parents for leaving the way he left, because they're very religious.
Okay, okay. Yeah, he is just, but like as soon as you said that, oh man, shit, we don't. Oh, and then he keeps putting his dad over, mom over, and I'm like, oh my God, those are symbols. It's like he can't even face them. He doesn't even want to face them because he doesn't know how to say I'm sorry without them hurting so bad and then pushing him away. Like it's very hard for him. What? He's asking me to ask you a favor. He says, "Can you do me a favor?" I said, "Yes, she will." And he says, "Can you just tell him I said hi or tell him I love him?" Like that's it. I don't know if they will take it. I don't know if they'll receive it. And just I know. That's why I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." And he's talking about making the excuse like you had a dream about them or something and just saying, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says, just say something about you had a dream and me saying this. And I was like, okay, okay, I'll tell her to do that. He thinks we're a good team. He says that I want him to be a country boy, and I know he's not at the same time. He has this very interesting feeling of like he just wants to walk. He has a weird feeling of like I'm walking around in tennis shoes going to a coffee shop, and yet I can go and get on horseback, and I have no idea why. I think it may be because he's from everywhere and what he does, and so he doesn't really have like a set, right? It's not like me. What if I'm from Texas, right? So I just hang out here. This is my thing. We have a horse ranch, whatever it is. And he's just kind of like a little bit from all over. I don't even think he went into skateboarding. Like that's not a thing. Like he's just talking about how he's like this vagabond and like music was like his soul and like that's what he did, but he didn't play any music. And then he's talking about how like video games were like okay, but he never really got fully into it. So he's like maybe he's like this workaholic and like junkie when it comes to that. And then maybe so he's talking about how he never had like a set passion besides you. So interesting. I don't know. Did he never have like he never had like a full-on love obsession or anything like that? Yeah.
Cars and camping. So when you
Cars
said
and camp.
forest, that he just wants to go in the forest, that's what he always wanted to do because that's where he would find peace.
That's where his piece is. Yeah. Okay. So that's why cars and camping. So it's like, so they're very, very opposite. Okay. That would make sense. And so that's why he's really, really good with his hands too, because he knows how to like look at them, tune them, do. Okay, cool. Yeah. Earlier he was talking about just walking out into the forest and like that's where he wants to go to retreat to like regain his consciousness. He he wants to build a fire. That's all he said. He said, I'll teach you how to build a good fire. What? He wants to have marshmallows with the kids. And they're too old to do that with him. And he's very upset that he is missing that part of their life. And he is, what? Tell me. I'm saying, come on, get all squishy with me right now. Get squishy with me. Hold on. What? No, you didn't. She wouldn't do that. He said, well, I fucking would. One, were you going to get, he could never convince you to get a tattoo of his name, right?
No.
So that's what the argument was. You just heard me talking about that. He goes, you know what she did? I said, what? He goes, she's going to get this. And he scribbles his name and he puts it on you. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think that she's going to get that. And that's why he said, well, I fucking would. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, maybe you can convince her to do that later. That's fine. So he wants you to do an in-memory thing for him.
I've been thinking of doing that with the kids.
That's what he wants. That's what he wants. He goes, come on, please, something. That's what he said. Hold on. What? Where are you at? What is that? Ooh, that's difficult. I asked him, I said, where's your body? And did the parents take him away? Like, did the parents take him? What's up with that? He's cremated, correct?
No, he's buried, but he's buried away from us. Like
Away from
45 minutes away from us.
Oh, okay. Okay. This is what he's doing. I said, where are you at? Where's your body? and he gets a cross and he puts it on him like this, and then he shows himself like laying down with a cross. I go, okay, cool, so it's religious. He goes, well, I didn't make those decisions, I didn't do any of that, no. And because I asked, I go, you feel like you would be with her all the time? I said, so is your ashes or remains like next to her near? He goes, and he keeps telling me. And then he brings up pictures of mom and dad, and I was like, did mom and dad take them? Like, but there doesn't feel like there's any things of like, I'm taking him away, you can't see him, like this is my thing. Like, it doesn't feel like any of that. That's why I was asking about that.
It was her decision to bury him. I think the siblings and I thought it would be better to have him cremated and then kept with us, but parents said that was very disgraceful to do that, so they buried him.
That's what that is. Okay, because he puts that cremation and he puts it with you. Like, that's what he does. And then he takes it away and he keeps talking about the parents drug it or they did something. No, they decided this. And he would really like the other way, because nobody like comes out to see him, or it's too hard for people to come out to see him, right? And it's too far away. And so he doesn't like that, because he likes to be the center of attention now, because that's what he wants. And he says that, tell me. Did they only do like a little plaque on the ground for him? Did they not do like the whole big thing?
He does have a stone.
Does he really? Okay, he's talking about it being very basic, and so that's why I was like, okay,
Maybe
is
for
it just
him. Maybe for him.
He's very extra. He goes like this. I said, what is this? I said, so is it good? Like, how does it work? And he goes, it's very just basic, Amy. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he shows like how it should be etched and like carved in with like all this stuff on it. And I'm like, oh God, stop it. He says that he makes a joke of like, want to get buried next to him. And I was like, no, she probably won't. And so maybe you will one day. That would be a thing. She talks about, see, oh, what? So tell me about this. So what do you do with her? How do you make her see that you're here? Colin. He just showed me you when you're like stressed out and like talking to the kids and you stick your neck out. You're like, no, or like you put your head out like this or say something. I don't know. It's interesting. He's talking about being around you all the time and like trying to parent with you. So while you're telling them, no, you have to go over here, you have to do this. And he's like standing there, just like watching it go on. He's talking about how, so your escape is your phone. He's talking about your escape is your phone. He says, yeah, I sit there and I lay with her. He says that, what? Are you having a hard time with the 19-year-old still lives at your house with you, right? Yeah, okay. It's weird. He's talking about how all the kids live there and how maybe one stays up till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then the other one has to go to bed. And so there's a point where you're just like, oh my God, should I control this or should I, whatever? Because, this is a different thing than this. And he's like laying next to you and he has his little feet crossed at the edge of the bed. And he's like, what are you going to go do about that? And he's like watching you, and it's funny. Y'all are definitely life partners. Definitely 110%. This man is going to help you. He keeps telling you that, he likes to let everybody know that he's the dad. He's the father. He's your leader. He thinks, my God, what? Tell me. I wonder if we'd like adopted a dog and then it passed away. Interesting.
He did.
Yeah.
He adopted a puppy 2 weeks prior, and we took him in with us, and we had to surrender him because he was very aggressive and he attacked another animal, and it was really sad because it was his dog and he named it Jedi. And yeah.
Was it like part pit bull?
Yes.
Yeah. He's standing there with a dog in my head, and it's a younger animal, and he shows me how it doesn't look like a full one, but you can tell it is, right? And because he just shows the head, and then he says, yeah, man, we adopted this dog and I got it. Let her know. Let her know, like, we're good, don't worry. And so he's in your house with him. He says that he says, may the force be with you. Yeah, this is the force. That's all he said. And I go, okay. He says that,
Because he named him Jedi.
yeah, uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, how cool. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. He talks about how I said, did you have any Lego collectibles or anything like that? Apparently you like Star Wars. And he says, no, I don't have time for that shit. And I go, oh, okay, cool. Thank you. He says that, what? So, but the kids don't like Star Wars?
They're not big. They're not bigger than he was.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, he goes like this. I said, so did you get your kid into like, you know, the, I don't know, like the big round spaceship with the thing on it? I don't remember what they called Millennium Falcon or something. He goes, no, no, they're not cool like that. They don't like that. And I was like, oh, okay, I get you. He says that, what? Tell me. Mhm. Um, is he the one that liked to cook over you?
Um,
Or did he think he just made better food?
he thought he was great. He was a great cook. Yeah.
Everything. Okay. This is what he said. I go, because I'm asking him, what ingredients do you use? He says, oh, tell her cooking sucks. And I was like, that's why I laughed. And I said, you can't say that. That's not a thing. He says, well, I can make it better. And I was like, she does a good job. I can tell it's fine. And he's talking about spicing it up or something. And I was like, you have no idea, dude. And he puts a little towel over his shoulder and he goes, I can. And I was like, shut up. So he's around with you during all that. He says that, tell me. Do the kids not like fish?
No, they do.
They do. Weird. Okay, he's talking
Oh,
about
no,
Portland. Wait, who? He doesn't like it?
I don't like fish.
Oh, you don't like it. Okay, this is what he says. He goes, would you believe that? He's talking about food. He goes, would you believe that? They live in Portland. I was like, I've never been in Portland, but I know they have great seafood because I was going to go do a thing on a seafood market there. And he goes, and she doesn't like, or they don't like fish. That's all she puts. And he puts that. And I was like, oh, okay. He says, he's just talking about what you do. Tell me. So what? How long's it been, dude? Are we going into like the second year of his passing?
It was in 2019, so his third year.
Oh, third year. Okay, we're going to the third year. Okay, this is what he says. He goes like 2 3 2 3 2 3. I go okay. What? He said way before my dad. My dad died in December of 2019. He says that. Hold on. Did he do this in like springtime?
Right. It was August 4th. So it was
Oh,
right after.
oh, okay. He keeps showing me A, and so I was like, April. Okay, so it's August. April is spring for me, obviously it is. But okay, hold on. Because I asked him winter, and he says no, it's not that cold yet or anything like that, and it's not what? I bet he has a lot of Leo in him too. That's why he's very, very proud. So we could look at that later. Come here, tell me one more thing. What do you know? I'm giving him all these different things to talk about. What about her life? So what's happening now with her? Hmm. He keeps saying you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be fine because I have you, because I'm here. He says that he doesn't want you to find love again because he's here. He what? He says, no, I'll let that happen. I don't want you to be a quote unquote old lady or an older woman without that. And he's talking about you like graying hair and being like, oh, and like not having this. I said stop. And he's talking about having to have somebody be with you when like the kids get married. And I was like, okay. So he's talking about how he's gonna make you find somebody. He says, hopefully somebody without an attitude problem. That's what he talks about. He says that I'm just gonna leave that there. He what? He just like put me I think he's taking you camping. I think he's taking y'all camping. I think he is it's almost like he would have a boat. He never had a crazy amount of money. And so he's talking or a good amount. And so he's talking about how, man, if I had everything, I would have this boat. We'd be on this lake, you know, we'd be out here with like camping around the outside. He says, and you'd be all like waving and saying hi to everybody and like the kids on the shore. And he was like, tell her I'm doing that with her. So he's doing that with you because he loves you. So he's creating this version of heaven. He says that what? You don't wear dresses. He what? Tell me. Are you like a full-on ooh, what is this? Like workout gear, workout wear person all the time? Not in a bad way? Yeah. Okay. This is what he says. I said, well, what is she wearing? He goes, well, she's not getting dressed up. I said, okay. That's why I said you don't wear dresses. And he goes, no. He says, yoga pants and like a jacket all the time. He says, but she's looking good. She's looking good though. And he's like, he still thinks you're hot. He says that one. Tell me. It's weird. I don't know how you have time to do that with kids like that and like job and everything like that. Are you like trying to actively like work out at home or something? What are you doing? Yeah. Okay. He goes like this. He says, tell her, I go, well, what about this? He says, I see you, I see you. And he goes, looking good, looking good. And I'm like, she looks great. So that means like maybe we're worried about this. I go, I don't even see because you're skinny as hell. And then he says, but I see her like that. And I go, okay. I said, where is this happening at? He places you at home and he says like a little good luck. Pop. And I was like, thank you for doing that. And he says that he wants you to chug the water. So you have a massive water thing that you take with you everywhere or like a high, okay. He says, you know, one of these things that you could like hit people with in the head. And I go, okay. And so he's talking about you having that. He says that, what? Watch your car. Your car's like what, 3 years old, 2 years old? But we already have something going on with it?
No. Well,
okay. Watch out for nothing's gonna be like brakes fail or anything like that. It's like all he shows me is check engine light. That's it. Oh, is it? Oh,
I have it at the Schwab right now. I'm supposed to get it and I totally forgot.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he knows.
Right.
Really? Okay. Okay. Yeah, he goes, watch your car. I go, well, what's going on? And then he shows me like the light. And I was like, okay, but he says it's not that crazy old. I go, well, I mean, we're okay. He says that, see, I have you. See, I have you. So this, what he's trying to tell you is that he's around. He's not all the way fully ascended, which is fine, because number one, he's still trying to go and apologize to his parents. He wants to be around and make sure the kids are going to be okay. He wants to be around and make sure you're going to be okay. He's kind of going to be like your your little interesting guardian angel in a way, like making sure that things happen. What? Do you work in medical right now?
I'm a caregiver for geriatric.
Really? Oh, okay. How cool. He says like this. I go, well, what are you doing? How are you around her? He says, um, it's almost like I want you to become, he says she's busting her ass for everything and she's taking care of everybody else. And then he puts on a rubber glove. That's why I was like, okay, so you're in you know, that medical. And then he talks about like you would be like an amazing PA or physician's assistant. And then he keeps talking about you. He goes, you'll do that one day, or you'll do that one day. So it's like maybe we're thinking about going back after like something with the kids and going higher or something. And he's saying, I'm going to watch you. It's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So if you've been thinking about it, give it some time. I would say let's give it 3 or 4 years. Okay. And you're looking at me, you're like, holy shit, Amy, 3 or 4 years. But no, that'll go by very quickly. We all know. And then he would help you. So if you want to make that decision and do that, he's going to assist you and help you doing that. Okay. He loves the kids. He loves you. He's still just as bossy and pragmatic and amazing and sassy and everything all the way through. And he was very, very embarrassed by what he did. He's very embarrassed by what he did. So much so that he's trying to put on this shiny, bright, good persona at first. And every time I would go ask him, he'd be like, you know. So, but he's okay. He what? For Christmas, can you go put a little wreath on his grave?
I will. We will.
Hmm.
And can you ask him anything right now?
Yeah, what's up?
If he has any messages for his kids?
Hmm. Hmm. He's funny. He goes, oh man, you caught me on the spot like that. I was like, yes, I did. What? I feel like the oldest needs more structure. I feel like they're very smart, but they need more structure. And he almost talks about this is weird. I don't think it's gonna take it, but he keeps talking about him almost like going in the Marine. And he says like weird, like it's like he needs more structure. He needs more like this. He says something like that would be good for him, but he's not going to do it because he's just going to say, oh, I'm bored, or oh, I can't do this, or oh, something like that. He says, I want you to find this. I would even say like go in the Air Force or something for like 4 years. That way it builds that. And then he would not live here. He would move across to another area. He says, he keeps coming up and touching him, and he keeps saying like, you're the main one of the house, right? Like you're the man of the house. Keeps saying that, listen to your mother, help her out, don't roll your eyes, just straight up, just that. He still his little kid, still his number one. He says I come in, and he comes in and he gives him a kiss when he finally falls asleep, and he says he still holds him like he's his little baby. Because sorry, I'm gonna cry because that was very sweet. And he says that yeah. Oh, stop it. He daughter is all about, he tells her like, help her mother, you're the only one that has any sense here.
It's true.
That's what he says. He goes, help your mother out, you're the only one that has any sense here. One. And he wants her to know that she's worth it. She's worth everything. Okay, she's worth it. Don't he like has his hand on her shoulder, and it's like, don't believe any of those things they say. Don't just keep looking straight away. I almost want her to be a vet for some reason. Like there's an interesting thing that goes along with that. Has she thought about doing that?
Forever. Until just
Mhm.
recently.
Really? Oh no. He says, I want you to be a vet, or I want you to go back over that and do that, so she can start thinking. Let her know dad wants to do it, wants her to do it. She says that what? And he says, like, I'm gonna be there with you whether you like it or not, all the way through. He's talking about how, wait, the youngest one is going to be stuck with you for forever. And they're talking about he's the one that's going to end up like cleaning you up later on, like wiping your butt when you're old, like that whole thing. And he says, you might as well just stay at home. You might as well just stay here for forever. Like there's no point in you leaving at this point. And then he keeps telling him, help the mother, help the mother. So the youngest one is a sweetheart of the bunch.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. He's talking about attaching and like being there, like laying in bed and like watching movies with you and stuff. Like it's this whole thing. He loves them all. He loves them all. He what? There's one he keeps talking about that he's not forgotten. So I bet it's one of the younger boys. Because there's what, you have 4 kids altogether, right?
I um I have one in heaven with him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. And we knew that was a boy.
Yeah, his name is Elijah.
Oh, okay. This is what he said. He talks about a 4th boy, and he keeps talking about he's not forgotten. He's not forgotten. So all the way through. So that means he's been able to meet him and he's been able to see him. Is he with him all the time? No, because Elijah's in a higher version of heaven. But just FYI, you don't forget him, and he doesn't forget him either. Okay. And he what? That Elijah thing, something was going on where Robert was fucking up during that entire period or something, or maybe that messed him up with Elijah. What? He's talking about like that passing like bore a hole in his soul. Um yeah.
He
It was
wasn't
very
around when that happened.
really,
Yeah.
he's very, very sad about that. He's saying, yeah, he loves them. He loves them. He loves you. So he'll be here. Just ask him. Ask him for help. He'll do it. Ask him for signs. He'll give it anything you want. Don't just do a bird. Don't just do a coin. Don't just do something stupid like that, which is not stupid, but it's just too generic. Do something like Barney or like a purple dragon or like a gecko. I don't know, something weird. And you say, I want to see this in the next 24 hours. You say that, and then he'll bring it into your world. And then you say, thank you. You say, I love you. And then you ask for another one all over again. Okay. So for right now, take a good breather, have a good cry, and then if you need me again, or if you have any questions at all, just email me. Cool.
Will do.
I love you. Thank you for letting me read this very funny, roundabout individual that is, let me tell you, when he kicked himself over what he did to himself, he's very hard on himself. Usually they're like, oh my God, it was so terrible. I had to do this. This guy's like, what are you doing, dumbass? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? So he knows. He knows.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it. So tell him you love him. Tell him thank you. And if you need me, let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. I really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. Anytime, baby. I love you.
Thank you.